Welcome, my lords, to the holiday special. I'm Danny J.
I'm Jolene.
And we are Keep on Tolkien.
Welcome back to our glorious return.
Yeah, man. Glorious.
Today, we're coming at you. This isn't the start of our next season. This is our 2021 holiday special.
Yeah.
This is our holiday special, our questionnaire special.
Our questionnaire special where we have had imbibed alcohol for the case of you.
Yep.
And we will be answering questions from you.
We will be answering your questions today after a handful of drinks. What have we had?
We've been drinking Modelo, fool.
We've been drinking Modelo beer because I could not find any malt liquor. I couldn't find any Colt 45 in the suburbs. I don't know what's going on.
But as a West Sider, you did right. You know, if you couldn't find the malt liquor, definitely go for Modelo.
And outside of that, we've also got some leftover vodka from my wedding, back in October. So we've been having some drinks. And today, our host of our questions, because Danny and I don't know any of these questions, our host today is our good friend Trevor.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, you remember his ass.
Yeah, from back in the day.
Way back in the day from episode, what did we just say, 43, right?
43 was Trevor's Tribulations, where we answered Trevor's questions.
Mm-hmm.
And then prior to that, we also had Trevor on for, I think, is our Turin Bar episode.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is your fourth episode of being on here, I think.
Yeah, something like that. I'm super excited to present all these questions to you guys, though.
Yeah, you've been curating these for us online. We have no idea what we're about to be asked. Nothing. No idea whatsoever.
Yeah, we put out the announcement that we're coming back just back in November, right? And we started asking for your guys' questions for the holiday special, and here we are. We got a good turnout.
Oh, yeah. That Discord server is popping, apparently.
But we're trying to make this kind of a tradition for us at KOT, the Drunken Holiday Special. We didn't do it last year yet. Last year we did...
We did a special, it just wasn't drunken.
It wasn't drunken. It was a Gifts of Tolkien, right?
Which is unfortunate, yeah.
Yeah. So we're trying to continue our drunken tradition here. And as is tradition to get drunk, we will be drinking... What did I say? This is leftover vodka from our wedding.
Leftover shit, man.
So we're going to start by taking a ceremonious swig in the vodka bottle.
Yeah. Of course, it's a
Ready?
metal cap. Yeah.
Bottoms up. Okay.
You getting in on this, Trill Dog?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's get it.
There you go.
So for those who are curious, we're not big spenders. This is like some pretty cheap mid-shelf. I mean, it's not like the cheapest stuff. It's not a plastic bottle. It's a glass bottle. But
Oh, it's glass.
It's a pretty smooth vodka, though.
yeah, it's not bad. It's not the greatest. It's not the worst I've ever had.
It's not Kharkov.
I was just going to say it's not Kharkov. Oh, man.
Oh, double swigs.
Double swigs. There we go. This guy's invested.
Take it. Somebody take it from me.
Ooh, so we hope that this holiday season finds you well. We know that the last, year and a half has been pretty rough for most folks.
Oh, yeah. It's been tales will be told, I guess.
But we hope we can make your holiday season a little brighter.
Yeah. Holiday season can use some brightening sometimes, you know.
Yeah, so as we speak, as we're recording this, it is about mid-December for us here in Minnesota, and we just got our first major snowfall just this morning. We just,
I was stuck in the driveway for an hour.
Stuck in the driveway, well over a foot of snow here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Snow, you could take it or leave it. Yeah. The snow, generally I don't mind the snow, but when I go outside and it's like, I want to just wear my Crocs and I got to fucking put boots on because I got to go to the gas station.
You sound like you got to move south, my friend. Maybe we all got to start moving south.
Yeah, that's problematic sometimes, but, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, we're kind of born and bred here to this weather.
Yeah, I don't know if I could, I need it.
I thought that would give me like a predisposition to like being hardy in the winter, but it feels like every year I'm just less tolerant of it. Every year it comes back and I'm like, this again.
Yeah,
this shit again.
That's called getting older.
Yeah.
I have to shovel the sidewalk again.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, like we mentioned, we hope that this finds you all well. We hope you're doing good. Whatever holidays you are celebrating this year.
Celebrate them hard, dude. Woo! Yeah.
But we're going to be celebrating this year by answering some of your questions.
So we're going to throw it over to Trevor, also known as Trill Dog.
Rail Dog.
Remember when I gave you that nickname years ago?
It stuck. Well, at least with you, it did.
Oh, should we
yeah.
do nicknames like we did that one time?
We did nicknames the last Drunken Holiday special. Sure.
Yeah.
You want a nickname?
Yeah. Should we pick up the ones we did? So last time I was Felligan, and I think
I was Turambar.
you were Turambar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you listen to the last Drunken Holiday special?
If I had, it's been a while.
It's been a while. Yeah.
We've been off the air for a while, folks, but we're happy to be back.
So, guys, you want to get into these?
Yes.
Yeah. We've been super excited about it. Me and Danny have been talking about it because we've been trying to avoid looking at all the questions, but they've been rolling in, so it's like our curiosity is piqued.
Yeah, dude.
I'm pretty excited for these. We got a lot of questions, so.
Hell yeah.
All right, let's dive on in, folks, shall we?
All right, so we're going to start with a question from Facebook.
Facebook, all right.
This question is from Gordon Kennedy.
Oh, hey.
Hey, we love Gordon.
How you doing, man?
Gordon's our guy over in Scotland.
Hey, he's been a listener for a while now.
Yeah, he's been a listener for friggin' ever, dude.
Well, he's also got a few questions, but we'll start with the first one. Gordon asks, with the new Lord of the Rings series coming soon, what are your top 5 hopes for the series?
Oh.
First one can't be, don't be shot.
Oh, like don't exist? So you can't ask it to not exist. Okay, fair enough.
What are our hopes for it?
Your top 5 hopes for it.
Top 5 hopes for the show? Okay. My top 5 hopes for the show. One, I just hope that it is visually pleasing because it has the largest fucking budget, and just being a modern movie or show with such a large budget, it should look good.
Yeah.
That seems to be the standard people go by nowadays, is how it looks. So I hope it looks good at the very, very least. Secondly, I hope they do whatever this fucking First Age Years of the Trees throwback shit is. I hope they cover it well. As some of you who are listening may know, that Amazon recently put out a promotion where it was a promotional picture of a mysterious elf figure who is apparently Galadriel's brother standing on a hill in front of...
So one of 3 people.
Yeah, one of 3 potential people, an elf figure standing on the shores of Amman looking at the 2 trees, which is clearly the 2 trees. And that has so many people excited. I really hope they do that justice. That's 2. Number 3, I'm excited to see the cast they've got. I don't know much about them. I know a lot of them are not big names, but I'm very excited to see what they do. Number 4, I'm excited to see what they do with the Second Age. I hope they touch on Dunedain history a lot, because that's really the rich shit you've got going on in the Second Age.
You stole my main
I
fucking
am so I'm gonna
premise.
I'll let you go into that more.
Okay.
You've got one more, Joel. You
5.
should finish it.
5. I hope it at least ends with one of the major wars, either the wars of Sauron and the elves, which was in the Second Age, or the end of the Second Age war, which is the War of the Last Alliance.
So I'm going to agree with most of the things. I'll just add a few more things because I agree with most of the things. Yes, I think it should look good. I'm excited to see what Tolkien will look like in an extended format rather than a film format.
That's right. This will be the first time.
This will be the first time, yeah.
In Tolkien history.
Yeah. So I hope they spend their time on the right things. We'll put it that way. And yeah, I hope it centers mostly on the Dunedain in the Second Age, and Gil-galad and the Last Alliance and stuff like that. And the War of Elves and Sauron. Yeah, all that shit, man. All that shit. I want it.
I'm assuming since the show exists within the Second Age, if they do touch on the Last Alliance, that would have to be like a series finale or something.
Yeah. Yeah, we couldn't do... So it has to be Second Age?
That's what they said it was based in, the Second Age, yeah.
So they're not going to do the Fall of the North Kingdom? That's what I wanted.
Is that in the Third Age?
That's in the Third Age.
So then they must not cover that, I'm not sure. Unless it trails into the Third Age and they just haven't clarified that yet. Could
Maybe.
be. I'm not sure.
If they just did Dunedain heavy stuff.
It seems like early on there was a lot of things going on and a lot of additions and adjustments and things being made.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah, so I don't have much more to add than that, yeah.
I mean, I kind of agree with all that, too. I'm excited to see it. I'm hoping that, definitely visually pleasing will be good. So I agree with both of you guys on that point.
It's got to be. It's like $1 billion, right?
I have no idea.
Is it literally $1 billion?
If it is, it better be good.
Yeah, I think it's literally $1 billion.
Yeah, the budget is $465 million, dude.
Oh my god.
Ow.
That's absurd.
It's a lot of money.
Just for the first season.
Good lord.
All right, next question. This one is our only question from Twitter. This one comes from Scott P. Scott asks, have you watched the Russian adaptation of The Hobbit or the Finnish adaptation of The Lord of the Rings? If so, did you make it all the way through? And if you started sober, were you sober by the end?
Oh, these are good questions. So
Well-
I have never seen either of them, though I wish to really, really bad. And I know Scott. I know who this is. Scott Pearson. What up, dude?
Good friend.
Good friend of ours. If he knows how I can watch them, he should hit me up.
What's the name of their
Generations Geek, their podcast. Him and his daughter Ella.
Scott over at Generations Geek? So I also haven't seen either, which is going to be pretty lame. I'm sorry. I only just recently learned about the Russian adaptation of The Hobbit.
Yeah.
And so I haven't seen it, but I did look up a little bit of it just on the internet and some clips and things. And
It looks pretty cool. It looks. I've seen screenshots from it.
It looks
yeah.
like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It honestly looks like something that we might have ddone
Yeah.
when we were in our heydays of making like videos back in like high school.
Young socialist filmmakers
Yeah.
trying to make yeah, I see that. Yeah, for sure.
Oh no, I haven't seen them, but I would really, really like to. And as for his follow-up questions, yeah, we probably will be drinking just to watch them.
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't think
That
I
sounds
would,
like a fun experience.
Oh yeah, that's like probably like Star Wars Christmas special level of like alcohol you'd need.
Oh yeah.
Sounds like a new life goal to have.
We still haven't gotten through that damn Star Wars Christmas special. We've tried 3 or 4 times.
Oh my god, it's rough. It's so rough.
So horrible.
All right, guys. Next question here. So the rest of the questions, for the most part, I will say so otherwise, all come from Discord.
All right.
Right on.
And all
Discord's our man.
Discord. Join the Discord channel.
All of your wonderful Tolkieneers in there. Oh, they're so great.
Oh yeah.
So this first question comes from Sarah, your sister.
Oh yeah.
If you had to recast the Fellowship with more modern actors,
Oh shit.
who would be best to play each role? And I think there's a lot of roles that you
A
have
lot
to
of
think
roles,
of here.
yeah.
So
we may
maybe
have to tag team
Pick a
this
few.
one.
maybe pick your collective top 5 or so.
So I was just thinking of something kind of funny the other day. If I were to recast The Lord of the Rings, all the elves would be played by 18-year-old Finnish actors.
Finnish folks.
I don't know who, but I'd find 18-year-old Finnish actors.
Well, their Elvish would just sound so genuinely beautiful.
Well, and like then when they spoke English, like they would. That's what elves sound like, Finnish people.
I would assume so because,
Yeah.
as some of our listeners may know, Elvish is based off of Finnish.
Yeah, very similar.
I didn't know that.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
He thought Tolkien found it to
That's
be a
why,
very
yeah.
beautiful language, so that's why he based his Elvish languages, multiple of them, off of Finnish.
It's very close to Finnish. Yeah, Scott, who actually just asked this question. This is funny. He was telling us a member of his family, I can't remember who it was Finnish, but he could read Elvish to her and she could kind of understand it.
Wow,
That's
that's
really
impressive.
cool.
Yeah.
So he did a similar thing. I had a similar experience. So Tolkien did a similar thing with Dwarvish.
Mhm.
Dwarvish is supposed to be based off of Semitic languages.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the previous jobs of mine, one of the ladies I worked with, she was originally from Jerusalem, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And so I showed her this, and I was like, "Does this look like something that would be familiar to?" She's like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
That definitely looks familiar." She's like, and I was like, "Do you think you could read it?" She's like, "Let me see." Put on my glasses, and she started looking at it. And she's like, no, I can't read this." She's like, "But it definitely looks very familiar." And I was like, "Okay,
Yeah.
cool, very cool." Because
That's awesome.
that's what Tolkien did. He based his languages off of real world
languages.
stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So as for casting, I think honestly I would want to include Andy Serkis probably as Gandalf. I want to include Andy Serkis in something other than Gollum because Andy Serkis is such a great fucking actor and he had so much to do with all of the Lord of the Rings stuff that I think he would be the perfect addition as Gandalf,
he's
like
like
a leader of a
The
of
nucleus
a company.
of the Lord of the Rings powerhouse
Yeah.
of culture. It's insane. Like I've just been recently listening to the Andy Serkis audiobooks and they're fucking awesome.
Who else we got other than just Gandalf?
Maybe some hobbits. Let's try to throw out some hobbits. Who would be some
Okay.
good hobbits?
Who would you recast as Frodo? I mean, main character in the Fellowship, right? Pretty important role. Just saying.
These are harder questions than I thought.
These
Jesus.
are really hard.
Oh,
You know what? Honestly, these aren't hard questions. We just got
like,
a little too
really drunk.
we
Yeah.
just got a little too
Oh
drunk.
man. Because I'm trying to think of like young actors. I don't know. Sarah knows I watch movies from the fucking 40s. I don't know. I don't know young actors.
Honestly, I think that would be okay if you know some actors from their time if they
From the
played it.
40s.
Sure, yeah. I don't. Yeah. Yeah.
Peter
In-
Lorre is Gollum for sure. Yeah. 100%. If I've ever cast anybody for anything.
Oh, you can't go to the Black Gate, Rick.
No, master, you can't.
You can't go that way.
You cannot go that way.
They will catch you.
They will catch you. Yeah. I'd say it's perfect.
That's beautiful. Well cast. Well cast.
Well, yeah.
Let's see. Let's shoot for at least 2 more.
What if we made Josh Brolin like a dwarf?
Josh Brolin is Gimli.
Josh Brolin is Gimli? You could probably do that.
I think he could be the more noble Gimli that we deserve.
Yeah.
Rather than the
jokesy, scared Gimli?
Yeah, the one that sucks sometimes.
I mean, in my heart, I think John Rhys Davies will always be Gimli to me.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to recast because I love Gimli and I love John Rhys Davies as Gimli. But sure, why not Josh Brolin as Gimli?
Why not?
He's a rough and tough character. Let's do it.
Sure.
Who would you replace with Sean Bean?
Ooh, who's good at dying, man? Who's good at dying?
Wow, why the fuck am I just blanking on the actors right now? Oh my god. Let's keep drinking. Maybe that'll help. What were we talking about?
You know what's funny? He was asking about recasting Sean Bean's character.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was trying to think of people who are really good at dying and characters that I have seen in recent shows and films. And you know who was the first one that came to my mind?
Huh.
Eddard Stark, which is Sean Bean.
Sean Bean. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He does his role well. But
He does it so well. He's such a... Oh,
He
God.
dies
I love
better
Sean.
than anybody.
Sean Bean is like the definition of a good sport, I feel like. I love that guy.
We're going to kill you this way, Sean.
All right, guys.
All
All
right.
right.
So would it be safe to say that you guys like the original casting? Yeah.
Yeah, I think they got it right on a lot of things. Yeah.
And we may have to fall back on that just because we are struggling. Because we
Struggling
drank
so hard.
much.
Fair enough.
Oh,
That's just a large casting. It is a large casting.
It's true. Yeah. Especially for the Fellowship. It's 9 different people, right? So
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to do just one more.
Okay, all right.
let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Gandalf is Jeff Bridges.
You already
Jeff Bridges Gandalf.
Yeah.
Oh, what if we had Andy Serkis as like Aragorn?
Oh,
I think he could pull that off. He could do
That'd
a
be cool.
noble character.
yeah.
He's a rough and tough
And
guy.
then Peter Lorre is Gollum.
And Peter Lorre is Gollum.
Yeah.
And then Gandalf as...
It's Jeff Bridges, I'd say.
Every time you say Peter Lorre, I immediately think of Hugh Laurie.
No. Different guy.
Yeah, totally. But that's what
Different
I picture.
dude.
It's so weird. All right, you guys ready for the next one?
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, I'm super excited about this one in particular. This one comes from Ninu from Discord.
Oh, sure.
Ninu asks, if you could pick 2 Tolkien characters to participate in Celebrity Deathmatch, who would you choose and what would their final move be?
Oh, that's a fucking great question. So I want to say, first of all, if there's anyone I wanted to see fight, probably Turin, right? You'd probably want to see Turin fight, right?
Oh, yeah.
Turin Bar. He's supposed to be one
Yeah.
of the most badass fighters with his black sword and his dragon helm.
Yeah.
What would Turin's final move be? His finisher, if you
What
will.
do you think, man?
I would say it's just a straight up bifurcation.
Probably
Just straight down the helm.
something to show off how sharp his goddamn
Yeah.
sword is, and I think that's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
Top to
He
bottom.
could even quarter you.
Oh, sure,
you
yeah,
know,
just a quick whoosh, whoosh.
Just go straight through and then yeah, just
Yeah, it's
quarter
almost
you up.
samurai-like. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
What's the name of his sword?
Gorthang. Well, it depends on when you catch it in the story, but
I guess you get to
Gorthang.
choose in this moment.
The Iron of Death.
I like Gorthang.
Me too.
Yeah. Okay, so Turin versus, what do you got?
Ooh, who would be a good fucking? Who would be?
Fuck it, dude. I say just Sauron.
I was honestly about to say Sauron
I
because
think
I'm
you could
thinking
take him. I think you could fucking take him.
I'm thinking back to when the Dunedain leaders in the Last Alliance were fighting against Sauron. You had Elendil, you had Gil-galad, and
Isildur.
I'm thinking Isildur and Gil-galad.
Yeah.
Fighting him hands on, and yeah. If that was Turin-Bar there with his black sword,
I say
think
Turin
things might
takes
have gone.
Sauron.
Yeah, I think that might have gone differently. I think
Yeah.
Turin versus Sauron would be a hell of a fight.
Yeah, dude.
Turin versus Sauron. Okay,
I mean,
Sauron's...
Turin fucking kills Glaurung, right? So
Yeah. And
I
yeah.
think he could hold his own against Sauron.
Yeah, and the finisher's just that quartering. Just that-
Quartering. Oh, what would Sauron's finish? Sauron's finishing would have to be burn his face off with his hand, right?
Yeah, and then
Just
smush
because-
it like a grape.
Just
or
like
smush it, fry it, and then smush it
so
like
fry
a
it,
grape.
smush it.
like palm over his face,
Yeah,
just
yeah, because
incinerate.
that's how
Yeah,
he
dude.
kills Gil-galad. Gil-galad
Ooh.
dies because Sauron grabs his face, and Sauron's hand is so hot that it kills him.
That's amazing.
It literally burns his face off.
That's super cool.
Isn't that
Metal
intense?
as fuck.
Tolkien went through World War I. He's into this fucking rough shit.
I think Sauron is just a little more badass than I give him credit for being.
He's gnarly, yeah.
All right, next cue. This one comes from Mark on Discord.
Mark, yeah.
Let's say the Hobbit movie romantic idea was good, and the Hobbit and elf got it on.
Okay.
Oh,
What
okay.
the hell would a Hobbit and an elf produce?
That's a really good question. That's a really good
I'll
question.
tell you what, an abomination. That's what.
So we know for a fact that elves and men can sexually reproduce. That's okay.
Right,
that's
that's true.
viable. It's a little more questionable when it comes to dwarves because they're not one of the original children of Iluvatar.
No,
the original
basically,
children
their
yeah.
genitalia would be a guess at whatever genitalia are supposed to look like.
So I guess in my eyes the answer is maybe because I don't know. Because dwarves are kind of they were kind of made in the likeness of what the children of Iluvatar were supposed to be. So maybe Aule got the genitalia right? What do you think?
I don't know.
It's hard to say.
So I'd say, okay, let's just say it's possible. Mark, I think it
Oh,
depends
how
on
about
what
this?
kind of elf.
What if we connect this to the mystery of where hobbits came from?
Oh, God.
We have no idea where
Oh,
hobbits
no.
came from, right? They had to come from somewhere.
But
Who else is short? Who else has elf ears other than elves? Maybe a dwarf and an elf got it on.
And that's how hobbits came to be?
That's how hobbits
You know,
can be.
forbidden love, there's always been like this tension between the dwarvish civilization and the elvish civilization. Maybe you got like a Romeo and Juliet situation where like the forbidden love was an attraction and then all of a sudden they created hobbits. How about it? Huh?
Maybe, dude. Maybe.
That's a little stretch of Tolkieneering, maybe.
I mean, I think it works well enough. So to add to this question, how do Ents procreate?
With the N-wives. They don't.
Holy shit.
How? Not with, not
So
who
the-
with, but
the-
how.
The first word that comes to mind is entings.
Entings, yeah, small ents.
But what is, there haven't been when Treebeard says there haven't been entings in many, many years or many long years. I assume entings is a verb for whatever they do for reproducing. But what is that?
Isn't Enting the child of an Ent? Because it,
yeah.
I assume that would be like entlings. I think he meant it as a verb, but there haven't been any entings in a very many long years because they lost the entwives. I assume that was like whatever it means to procreate with ents.
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe I've misinterpreted that line,
I always
but
thought it was the baby ants.
that could be. That could very
Yeah.
well. Excuse me.
I think maybe the real burning question is, how long would it take?
How long?
Oh, they live for like thousands and thousands of years.
Do they just bone for years on end to make a new
That's what
Ent?
you're saying. You're saying, did they
How
make
do
love
trees
for
reproduce, man?
a long
So
time?
I'm going to go out on a limb, throw in a little bit of real world science, right? So ents are like based off plants, right? So maybe
Sort of.
maybe their sexual stuff is similar to plants. Like maybe
Ooh.
females of flowers,
They pollinate?
maybe they pollinate,
Ooh.
something like that. I don't know. Ents produce, or the females produce the fruit.
Sure. I mean, it makes sense. I don't know. Treebeard's not very specific about
No,
how it
I
happens.
don't think there's a lot of explicit history behind ent biology
Maybe
and
they
culture.
just like split off from each other, like they bud.
Well, there is females and males, and they
Yeah,
it
that's
is
true.
definitely implied that it's a sexual reproduction because
All
it
I
sounds like
know-
they haven't reproduced since the Entwives left. So
You know, Mark, I don't know, but I can tell you that I do know that dendrophilia is the act of having sex with trees. I do know that.
I'll have to store that nugget somewhere in the back of my brain.
maybe
Yeah.
that's the takeaway from this conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's my answer, dendrophilia.
Moving on. Next question. So this next question comes from Big Duck Energy from Discord. Which kingdom/faction has your favorite crest? He also continues on to say, I've always been partial to the Tree of Gondor, but your choice doesn't have to be from the Third Age.
Okay. I really like the Rohirrim flag, honestly. Like the white horse or whatever. The one that they use for Theoden, I think. Like Snowmane. I really like that one.
What do you think, Joel?
So I would have to say probably the emblem from Tuor's house while he's in Gondolin. They give him a house sigil, which is House of the Wing. And when I always read through the Fall of Gondolin or the Unfinished Tales, whenever they talk about the emblem of like the wing on his shield and stuff and like the emblem of his house, I always thought that was really gorgeous.
Yeah, that is cool.
All right. This next question comes from Ardent Viper from Discord.
What up, Viper?
Ardent Viper asks, aside from Círdan, the motherfucking shipwright,
I'm glad he got his name right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
From the First Age, which is your favorite elf and why?
I had to refer back to the fact that they said you cannot say Círdan.
Honestly, I'm probably going to have to go with my boy Finrod.
Finrod Felagund?
Yeah.
See, I think I'm in the same boat.
Everybody likes Finrod,
Finrod
right?
Felagund is like the most lovable of the loved character of
Yeah.
all the elves. I think isn't he Finrod the
They
Beloved?
called him, Finrod the Beloved.
The Beloved.
Yeah.
So since you said Finrod and I said Finrod, maybe I'll throw out a secondary. I also really love Fingolfin.
Oh, yeah.
Fingolfin is
cool.
one of the most honorable elves of the First Age and one of the strongest
The
leaders,
mightiest,
I think.
yeah.
He was a very wise and level-headed leader.
And what I really like about him, too, is, like, he also had a sense of duty toward his family.
Very much so.
Like, his brother was crazy, but he still was like, I swore an oath to my brother that I would go where he went, and, like, that would be peace among our houses, right? So,
And even
like,
when he didn't want to go along with that oath, he realized most of his people were going to, so he was going to go with them. He wasn't just going to let them go with a leader that he thought to be subpar.
Yeah, he's always done the noble and the responsible thing. I like Fingolfin a lot as well.
I kind of just like that name, too. Fingolfin, I don't know, it just sounds cool.
Fingolfin.
Yeah, it rolls off the tongue. Fingolfin. All right, next question. This one comes from Cardamom Finger Valley, which I believe is your sister, Joel.
That's her Hobbit name.
That's
Is
her,
it?
That's her Hobbit name?
Was that Claire's
there was a
name?
Hobbit name generator that we did, and that's what she came up with, I think.
That's a dope name. I mean, it sounded very D&D to me, so
Yeah.
it works. Well, she asks, and this is a fun one, if Mjolnir were in Middle-earth, which characters would be worthy enough to wield it?
A dwarf.
What dwarf?
I'm
Any
sorry.
dwarf? All the
So
dwarves?
I just think of a hammer would have to be wielded by a dwarf, right?
No, but
Yeah.
you can only lift it if you're worthy. That's the thing. Remember?
It's Mjolnir.
Who is the most worthy dwarf? Probably
Gimli. Honestly.
probably Gimli. Yeah. Gimli honestly is probably the
Yeah.
most worthy dwarf.
Yeah, Gimli. I
Because
would say.
Dwarves are known
Yeah.
for having their positives and negative
So
qualities.
let's
but-
do for funsies. For funsies, let's do one person from each race.
Oh sure, yeah.
So, what one man? Honestly, is probably Baron. Baron could touch the
Yes.
Silmaril and it wouldn't burn him. Remember?
He could touch the Silmaril. That's true. If he could
Yeah.
touch the Silmaril, I think he could
Yeah,
wield Mjolnir.
say
That's
Baron.
a wonderful point.
yeah. And then for the Eldar,
Who do you think?
I might have to go Fingolfin again.
Honestly, it's either between Fingolfin and Thingol, but Thingol definitely has his moment where he's seduced by the Nauglamir. So I think that I'd have to go with Fingolfin.
Yeah. Any orcs? Like, you think Shagrat could do it?
Shagrat? Did you just say Shagrat?
Yeah, Shagrat's an orc
So,
character.
just based on the
That is
racist...
totally an orc name. Yeah,
Dude,
okay.
bro, Trevor, you got to get to the Return of the King. There's so many fucking orc names.
Shagrat.
It's literally,
I can't do.
bro. Because book 2 of or book 1 of the Return of the King, or what's the Frodo and Sam one, or book 2?
Yeah.
It's literally just them and a bunch of fucking orcs. So it's
yeah,
like
they keep running into bands of orcs
yeah,
and
it's
shit.
just Frodo, Sam, and just a shitload of orcs, and they all have names and they have dialogue.
It's goofy. That's so weird.
Shagrat and, what is it, Guruk or something?
Gorbag, I think.
Gorbag?
Yeah.
Shagrat sounds like a bad porn star. Okay, that's that's all I got.
Shagrat.
Shagalicious.
Shagalicious Shagrat.
All right, moving on. So this next question, again from Discord, comes from Tenuviel. I hope I pronounced that right. Which is your wife, Joel?
Tenuviel?
Tenuviel.
Joel's married. Gross.
Tenuviel
Gross.
asks, as we all know, the beloved original Star Wars trilogy was updated many times, potentially too many times.
Mm-hmm.
If you could George Lucas any of your episodes, which would it be?
If we had to George...
This
You
is a
know-
sacred question for us.
I think we have a similar... I think we have the same answer, right? Pretty
Hold
similar?
on, both at the same time. 3, 2, 1.
Joran.
I'd say the original Great Tales of the First
Yeah,
Age.
if I had my druthers, as they say, you know.
What was that?
If I had my druthers, you ever heard somebody say that?
No, dude.
Druthers?
Yeah, you've come on. It's like a Southern person saying.
I haven't heard it.
It's like
Mel,
I'd
have you heard
rather
of that?
have this. You know what I say? Like I'd had. if I
Mel
had my
shaking her head. Yes, she
Yeah,
says
she's heard it.
That. So
She's-
this
yeah.
is this must be a real term.
Yeah, druthers. Anyway, if I had my druthers, yeah, we'd get to do all 3 of
A
them.
person's preference in a matter. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I told you.
Druthers. Okay.
I don't just make up words on this podcast. All right. I would do all 3 of them, but if I had to pick one of the 3, It'd be the Turin episode, probably.
Yeah, I would honestly love to do. I guess I'm just going to say the 3 main tales of the first stage. Just to be clear, that's the tale of Beren and Luthien, the tale of the children of Húrin, which is basically Turin Turambar, and thirdly, the fall of Gondolin, which is basically the tale of Huor, right?
Eärendil and Tuor. Or, no, it would be, Tuor.
Tuor, excuse me.
Yep.
Eärendil and Tuor, yeah.
Those are definitely episodes I really enjoyed too, though.
Mm-hmm.
Beren Luthien is awesome.
We blew through those in our first season as we were just kind of getting used to podcasting. So if there were any that we would redo, I think that would be something we'd turn our attention towards.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
All right. Next question. This one comes from Ruru, your editor.
Ruru!
What up, Ruru?
Ruru asks, what's your favorite and least favorite Tolkien references in pop culture / media?
Right off of the bat, I'm going to say the Bilbo Baggins song is trash.
Song? Did you say song?
Yeah.
There's a Bilbo Baggins song?
Yeah, but with Leonard Nimoy.
Yeah, it's like a whole music video and everything. I would say right off the bat, it's trash, guys.
All right. Least favorite, nailed.
Leonard Nimoy. I mean, I don't want to do Peter Jackson the disservice. I love Peter Jackson, but I might say the Hobbit trilogy as well. That really irked me. The second 2 really rubbed me the wrong way. I could get by with the first of the Hobbits in the Hobbit trilogy, but the second 2 are just...
And and then the favorite adaptation?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I would have to say, I'm going to give a big shout out to the Robert Inglis audiobooks.
Ooh, that's good.
From like the 70s or 80s or whatever the fuck they're from. But they're awesome.
Well, these are references, so not specifically a creation.
Oh, I'm sorry. See, I'm drunk and I'm losing track
references.
of what you're asking me.
References in pop culture.
Yep.
References in pop culture. My favorite one? Okay. Oh, okay. That's a hard question. I love whenever Stephen Colbert talks about it on his show.
Just about Tolkien in general?
Yeah, because he'll go deep sometimes as a bit because it's basically like a foreign language to most people.
Well, he's a prolific Tolkien nerd, yeah?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I can get behind that.
Yeah. So yeah, basically whenever Steven goes off on a Tolkien rant, I love that shit.
For me, pop culture, I would have to say probably, I don't know, maybe some Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin loves their Tolkien references, and I really dig that. I love me some
sure do.
old school Zeppelin.
Yeah, dog.
Right. So we're going back to Facebook. We've got a second question from Gordon Kennedy.
Second breakfast, here we go.
All right. Gordon asks, now that Christopher Tolkien has passed away, what do you think will happen to the future legacy of Middle-earth?
That's an interesting question. Hard to say.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I guess it depends on surviving members of the estate, right? How they feel.
So I'd say the future of Tolkien's works is largely linked to Tolkien estate, which isn't necessarily synonymous with Christopher, because the Tolkien estate is comprised of a bunch of people, including other members of his family.
Mm-hmm.
So I would want to say that it would continue similar to as it has, but I'm thinking back to recently, right after Christopher died, and now they started selling the rights to places like Amazon Studios.
Right, because it was pretty much right after Christopher stepped down that the Amazon deal came out, right?
Exactly, yeah. So I want to say it would continue very similar to the way it has been, and basically not really dishing out the rights to any kind of cinema, but that might be changing.
So I think I'm going to give you a kind of pessimist answer, is that I think it's totally up to whatever capitalism wants to do with it. Like, it's since Christopher's gone, I think that like it's going to be commoditized in a way that you can't even imagine. As long as it makes money, it'll keep proliferating. Which, is it a bad thing? I don't know, because maybe it brings people back to the books. You know, I don't know. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? But I think it'll be proliferated by the machine that is capitalism, as long as it continues to make money.
I think after the success of the original film trilogy, Lord of the Rings trilogy, and the fan base that it created, I think you're right.
Yeah.
All right, next question. Second question from Ninu. What is your take on how the Fellowship handles bathroom breaks and personal hygiene?
Oh.
especially in places like Moria?
That's a fun.
I
fun Tolkieneering question.
I imagine in Moria, whenever they stopped, somebody like probably Gandalf was like, "That's the corner over there," and then that was just the corner that everybody went and shit in. You know,
You shit in that corner.
yeah, like
Nowhere
he
else.
Yeah, whoever was leading Gandalf, like that's where everyone poops.
It's hard for me to imagine the movie characters shitting anywhere, just because nobody shits in movies.
Yeah,
But for the book characters, I feel like that'd be a much more practical thing, especially in Moria. I feel like in Moria they mentioned there being like random holes and drop offs like here and there.
you'd probably want to like scatter your poop or hide it.
Well, I
you
would
wouldn't
think
want
that you
people
could
to
probably
track
just
you
find like
through there,
a
right?
crack or crevice somewhere in the ground and just shit down it.
Yeah.
I mean, you might end up hitting like a goblin or something.
Yeah, waking up the Balrog or whatever.
It wasn't Pippin that did it. It was when fucking Gandalf shit down that hole. That's what really did it.
Gandalf took that 3-day beer bender shit.
We would have made it through safely, but no.
Man, that limbath spread really gave Gandalf the shits. And then when they were in Moria and he shit down that crack, he woke up that Balrog, let me tell you.
He awoke the nameless fear.
All right. We've got another one from Mark.
From down under.
From Down Under.
Down under.
Mark asks, so Ungoliant consumed herself at the end. Did that create a black hole? A vacuum? A supernova? She was Maya, right?
It is suspected that she was Maya.
I don't think she's Maiar.
No?
Well, she would...
So there
I
are
don't
many
think-
forces in Tolkien that are not Maiar. There's a lot of crazy, like, natural, random, magical entities, like, throughout the world that aren't Maiar.
Like, I think she came down at a different time than most Maiar. So she's an Ainur. So I guess she'd technically be a Maiar. But I think she was there first. Earlier.
She was there during the dark time.
Yeah, before light.
Because it mentions that, more or less, that she had been there since the beginning, more or less. She crept out in the darkness.
Yeah. And I kind of think that, like the unlight stuff that she, like, produces is kind of like a black hole. Like, it absorbs all light. You can't see anything within it.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So maybe did she consume herself? Is that what happened?
So there's actually two different...
Isn't
versions.
one Earendil slew her?
There's two different versions.
Okay.
Yeah, like
gonna say.
some of Tolkien's tales, there are multiple endings to.
So I don't know
Ungoliant.
this other one. Okay, what's the other one?
So one is that she in the end consumed herself out of her gluttony and famish, and the other one is that Earendil, when he was going around just sailing the world,
Doing
went into
Earendil shit.
doing Earendil shit, went into the southern regions and slew her.
Yeah.
Now,
That's what I had heard too. Okay, so I like.
So it's a kind of one of the unfinished tales, I think you could say. It's there's two different versions to the ending of that tale.
Okay.
when you
But
say
if
consumed,
if she were to have consumed herself,
does she eat, like literally eat herself? Is that what we
Yeah,
mean by
yeah.
consumed?
literally,
She
yeah.
consumes like everything, dog. Like
She
eats-
consumes light. She consumes
trying to eat the
precious
Silmarils,
gems.
remember?
She tries to consume the Silmarils, which are gems with precious light inside of them. Yeah, so she likes to consume light and beautiful things. But eventually, if you go with that version of the tale, she consumed herself, and I would imagine that would create some kind of a magic black hole. That'd be kind of cool.
It's a magic like a black hole that then poops.
Somewhere like in the dark regions in the south, wherever she was hiding out, there's like a weird black hole from where she consumed herself.
It'd be cool. I'd throw things in it all day.
Experimental hole.
Yeah. It's like I found these old light bulbs from the 50s. I'm going to throw them in there.
All right. Next question from Ardent Viper, who asks, who is the least asshole son of Feanor and why?
Maglor.
I'd probably say Maglor too.
Mostly because he took pity on the Sons of Elrond. And he became like a good mentor to them.
Yeah, throughout the first age, the sons of Feanor spread out across Beleriand, and they were known for their different temperaments, and some were pretty fucking mean and dickholes and rough, and some of them weren't so much. But all of them participated in the oath.
Yep.
And all of
That they
them
all had in
participated in basically war crimes.
Yeah,
In
definitely.
the names of in the names of obtaining the Silmarils. So they've all done fucking terrible things. But the only ones where there are redeeming qualities explicitly written about would probably be Maglor.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I say Maglor, and he's the only one that gets to live.
Or,
Oh.
I'm sorry, Maglor. Am I thinking Maedhros, perhaps?
Are you thinking Maedhros?
Is Maedhros...
Maedhros and Megler are always mentioned together.
Maedhros and Maglor are always mentioned together. Who is the one-handed, the one who was chained?
That's Maedhros.
Maedhros. So I'm thinking
I'd
Maedhros.
say him too. Yeah,
The Maedhros, the one who was chained
the two
to
eldest brothers.
Thangarodrim. He
Yeah.
lost his wrist when he was saved
Yeah,
by his cousin, and he turned over the leadership
High
of the
Kingship.
Noldor, the High Kingship, to...
House
Was it
of
Fingolfin? Fingolfin and Fingon?
Yeah, Fingolfin. Yeah.
All right, the next one. We have another question from Cardamom Finger Valley. What? And I mean, you guys could probably go on for days about this, or maybe not very long at all. But
Okay.
But
what are your biggest criticisms of Tolkien's work?
well, considering we are living in the year 2021 and Tolkien lived in the 1900s, I'd probably just have to mention the aging of the work. So my greatest criticisms would probably be the inherent sexism and slight racism
Oh, that's what you were
in
gonna
his
say.
works.
I was gonna say there's no sex. There's no sex at all in them.
Nobody bones in Tolkien.
No, there's no sex at all.
They have kids.
They
They
reproduce.
have
I
long
like-
family lines.
Sexual reproduction is implied.
I'm like every other fantasy sci-fi fan. I like a little sexy story sometimes, and there's not much of that in Tolkien,
Tolkien
Yeah,
doesn't
there
really
isn't.
crank it up,
which
huh?
is fine. I think everything else outweighs that. Obviously, that's
He certainly describes beauty a lot.
beauty, yes, but never
Beauty and love,
sex.
but not the raunchier, lustier side.
Mm-hmm.
He was a good Catholic man.
But yes, also the inherent slight racism and sexism. That as well.
Fair, understandable.
And then add some sex in there.
You spice it up a little.
Spice it up a little bit.
Spice it.
You know what I mean?
All right, next question is kind of a joint effort, but we're going to throw it in here. It starts off, what did Gandalf have for breakfast?
What did Gandalf have for breakfast?
Or-
Just tea, thank you.
Just tea.
Tea? That's all he takes?
So technically he's a Maiar, so I guess he does have a physical...
you have to nourish the physical
he
body.
does have to
yeah.
nourish his physical body. He does eat.
Yeah. He drinks that shit from the Mirevoir from Rivendell, too. Remember that liquor that Elrond gives him? He likes to drink that.
He likes liquor, he likes to smoke. I think it's implied that he also enjoys Hobbit's meals.
Yeah, I would say
Thinks
he
as
had
well.
sausage, because I'm a sausage guy.
Sausage?
Yeah.
So I see Gandalf as being a very practical man, and yet someone who also enjoys the finer things. So maybe he'd have some kind of like a jerky, a salted meat on him.
For breakfast?
Well, I mean, when you're a traveler like him, he's the Grey Wanderer. He's always out traveling on the road.
True, he
so,
never abode anywhere long.
He's always out moving around, and so I assume when he's traveling, he's probably got something like that.
True.
Fair.
I would say then I'll change my answer to a dried sausage.
Dried sausage.
Yeah.
All right, the second part of this question. If we had a night of passionate lovemaking, and I wanted to make you second breakfast
Me
the
and
next
you?
day, I mean all three of us. Let's just go with
Okay.
that,
All
right?
Cool.
If I wanted to make you second breakfast the next day, what would you request?
I would request.
I think me and Joel's answer might be the same.
Oh,
Anything with white gravy.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I would basically say like an Eggs Benedict style kind of thing. I love white gravy and
Yeah.
hollandaise and all that shit.
Hold on, would that be considered leftovers?
Yeah, I was gonna say like country
Leftover-
fried steak or something.
Mm.
Yeah, something with some white
Basically
gravy.
something with eggs, sausage, and hash browns.
Maybe some hollandaise.
Some hollandaise.
That's kind of
or
what
some
I
white
had for
gravy.
breakfast this morning, actually.
Fuck
Oh,
yeah.
Except
nice.
replace the bacon in there.
You had some good breakfast, my friend.
Hell yeah.
Danny, what'd you have for breakfast this
What I
morning?
had for breakfast? I think I had. Well, because like I kind of eat like lunch when I get home from work
Yeah.
because my schedule's weird.
Yeah.
So I had. I had a pizza.
I had
What I had.
jambalaya.
Oh hell yeah, jambalaya is
Ooh.
awesome.
Yeah, Mal made some homemade
Ooh.
jambalaya
Oh, I bet
Hell
that's,
yeah.
I
the
bet
other day.
that's
So
delicious.
fuck
Tasty.
yeah.
All right, next question. This is it. Should be an easy one, and
Hit us with it.
I'm gonna add to it a little bit.
Throw it at us.
All right. So the question asks
Okay.
from Gordon Kennedy
Okay.
from
Gordon.
Facebook.
Okay.
From Fair Caledonia.
Gordon asks, "What is your favorite Xmas drink?" And I would like to add, what do you think would make a good Tolkien Xmas drink?
So here's the thing. I'm gonna disclose.
Mm-hmm.
I had never had eggnog until very recently.
Oh.
And can I say, shit is delicious. It's like pancake batter.
Sort of.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's delicious. It's very thick.
I've never had it like spiked. Like, you're like your weird uncle brings. Like,
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
never
yeah.
had that.
So I would have to say that eggnog is not my favorite spiked drink. I'd have to say my favorite holiday spiked drink would probably have to be something cranberry related.
Like a cranberry vodka?
Sure, yeah. I could get behind that, or a cranberry gin, or
Ooh, a cranberry gin.
yeah, something a little more
Yes.
botanical, perhaps.
Oh, yes.
But as for what would make a great holiday hobbit drink, I think hobbits would very much get behind eggnog, and I think
they would love it.
I think hobbits would.
I wonder
very
if
much
Gordon,
love-
do they drink it in Scotland? I wonder, eggnog. I don't know. I hope they do because I want them to know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's delicious. I'm sorry if you guys don't have it.
We're so uncultured.
Yeah.
We have to admit that, especially now that we're drunk.
All right, guys. Your next question comes from Ninu
Ninu.
from Discord. All right. How do you imagine Telperion and Laurelin?
I gotta say, this is something that I have certainly thought about. I believe that they would not be an evergreen. I believe they would be a vestigial. Is that the term for a leafed tree?
Deciduous.
Deciduous.
Vestigial is an organ that has no purpose anymore.
Thank you, sir. See, that's why. Yeah, Danny's the smart one on the podcast.
Vocabulary. With the power of vocabulary.
Yeah, I think it would definitely, they would both be leafed trees, but Tolkien gives very good descriptors for both of them. Just in terms of the fact that one is very golden and the other one is very silvery. Telperion is the silver tree of the moon. Laurelin is the golden tree of the sun. So essentially, if you equate both of those with sunlight and moonlight, you get pretty good descriptors, you know?
So some of my favorite trees are birch trees.
Mm.
So I imagine they're kind of like birch trees, and like they have like the bark like glows as well,
Oh, okay.
Like
so
a
rather than
sparkly-
like the bark that...
like gold and yellow.
Like
Yeah,
a,
so
like
ra-
ethereal bark?
Yeah, dude, kind of.
So rather than a lot of typical bark where it looks kind of veiny, it's kind of like smooth and peels off in layers kind of thing. Yeah, okay. I can get behind that. I imagine that they're somewhat similar to the Malorn trees. I imagine that Telperion and Laurelin are somewhat similar to the Malorn, and just with the color orientation for each.
Yeah.
So a Malorn that is either silver or golden.
Yeah.
But I guess that's just kind of my own interpretation. So
Yeah. I say they're like birch trees.
okay.
Yeah, that glow. I would like make things out of the skin. Wouldn't that be awesome? Out of the birch bark.
Isn't that a conversation that actually happens between Eldarion and the elves when they gift him the white tree initially?
Yeah, he's like, oh, this would make a sweet ass ship.
And he's like, they're like, we don't
cut them down.
we
for
don't
wood.
cut
Yeah.
these down and make these into wood. We just grow these.
You grow these, dude. Yeah, what an aggro person. It's like, oh man, I'm gonna cut this down and make a ship out of it. Yeah,
Yeah, Eldarion sees a super practical engineering purpose for this tree and this wonderful type of wood, and the elves are like, oh, no.
No, dude, we don't cut them down.
No, man, we
just
let
enjoy
these
them.
grow. They're sacred trees.
Next question?
Next one we got, another one from Mark.
From down under. You gotta say from down under.
Mark, from down under.
Say wallaby. Can you say
Wallaby.
Is that
wallaby?
Wallaby.
I love
No.
Trevor because like Trevor is not the greatest at doing accents, so it's fun to make him try to do
It's
things.
bad, but I'll give it a go.
It's like kangaroo.
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 Kangaroo. Okay, I'm done trying this. So the question is, well, it's got some of a statement. Anyway, so Mark says, I like the idea of other sentient weapons. And with the fox in Lord of the Rings, what other animals should have said their piece? Addition to that, maybe the elephants just wanted to play in a pond. Maybe the thing in the water picked up Frodo to ask for help to get something out of his teeth.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I like that thought process. So, for those of you who may not recall the fox, I'm pretty sure the fox he's referring to is the one in the Fellowship of the Ring, right as the hobbits are leaving the Shire. They're sleeping one night, and a fox comes across them and thinks to itself like, "Oh, how odd! hobbit sleeping outside.
Oh, and we like jump into its consciousness for a second, right?
Exactly, yeah. And
Yeah,
we
yeah.
find out that apparently foxes, or at least this fox, is sentient and thinks to itself.
Yeah.
So what other creatures would do that? Like if the Watcher in the water did that, that'd be kind of funny.
It'd be kind of
Like,
funny.
hey, man, I just need your help with something real quick. Why'd you cut my arm off?
I
no.
lost my contact lens.
Oh, no, you guys are going to go into the mines. Don't go in there.
Don't go in.
No, don't go in there. Let me come help you. I caved in. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
I just wanted to help.
I'm trying to think of what other fun animals would be sentient. What about those giant rabbits that what's his name uses the Hobbit
Radagast,
movies,
the Rustabel rabbits.
Roscabel rabbits.
Rustabel.
I
Those
wonder
are
what they're
Glundabad
thinking.
wargs. Well, I have Rustabel rabbits.
No, I'm going to change my answer to Ulmo's sentient whales.
Oh, the sentient whales.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to know what their life is like. They just like see the world as like ships going past every now and then. Numenorian ships going that way. Some elf ships going that way.
Well, we've got sentient foxes, right? And we've got confirmation of sentient birds as well from the Hobbit, right?
Mm-hmm. The thrush and whatnot.
The thrush. So I wonder if just most animal life are considered to be sentient. We just don't know their language.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Well, the elves kind of do.
I suppose that is
elves do
the
speak
elves'
to
specialty.
trees and animals and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, they love to speak to nature.
Yeah. Did we answer that question?
No. What else would be? There'd probably be fish included in that.
I think
it's what other animals should have said their piece.
Should have said their. I definitely feel like the Oliphants have an opinion. I feel like the
seeing
Oliphants
as that
probably
they're forced into a life of war.
yeah, and slaughter.
Yeah.
And just mayhem and destruction and violence.
I think they would rather live at home in peace, rather
They'd
than
probably
march.
rather, roam their homelands and hang out in an oasis somewhere with some water and do Oliphant stuff. They probably don't want to be
trample horses.
No, they probably don't want to be trampling around in Gondor. That's not where they belong.
No, dude. Yeah.
They need some good mud to pat themselves with, like all the fun elephants and Oliphants probably. I assume they're similar to elephants.
Yeah. I want to hear from those damn Oliphants.
To keep with the theme, Ardent Viper asks, if you could have one weapon from any age, what would it be and why?
A weapon from any age? Well, it's kind of hard not to say Gorthang.
But it will not love the hand that wields it.
It's true. But what about its mate? Because it had an identical twin.
Ingriel?
Ingriel that went along with
Meglin.
Meglin.
Over the wall.
Yep. I wonder if that was ever retrieved by anyone, because that's a very
I
valuable
don't know.
sword.
Yeah, it's one of those mysteries.
Does
Yeah.
anyone pick the bodies that are thrown over the walls of Gondolin?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
He's like, yeah.
There's got to be some good-ass shit down
Some
there.
spelunker is going to find it years from now.
It's like, man, this is a nice-ass sword.
Yeah, it's a sweet sword.
Yeah, so if there's any weapon, I'd probably say it'd have to be one of the swords made by Eol the Dark Elf that were created of the substance that is known as
Galvorn.
Galvorn,
Yeah.
the black metal that fell from the heavens.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go ahead and say Anduril.
Oh, okay.
Because Anduril,
A
I just
Telkar
realized
blade.
this the other day because I'm making my way through the books again. The sheath that Galadriel gives him says that the sword drawn from that sheath will neither be broken or stained even in defeat. So the sword is basically impervious now because it's drawn from that sheath. It's not going to break ever again.
Which, for whatever reason, is an infamous characteristic of Telkar's blades.
Yeah.
They tend to break for whatever fucking reason.
For whenever you need them.
That happens in Baron and Luthien. That happens to Elendil.
Yeah, what if the dragon helm of Dorloman broke too while Turin was using it?
Somebody bonked him in the
Somebody
head.
bonked him on the head and just
And
fell
it just
apart.
broke.
What the fuck?
What the fuck, Telkar? What the hell, man?
Yeah,
Way
just-
too tempered.
Yeah.
To add to this, why do you think Tolkien didn't have more sentient weapons?
That's a good... I mean, I guess that kind of adds a lot to the narrative.
Good
but
question. I mean,
They definitely could have added some interesting dynamics to the stories. Like, I feel like Anduril probably could have been a sentient weapon.
oh yeah, definitely. I don't know. I feel like all the weapons are sentient.
Oh, yeah?
We just maybe don't hear about what they have to
You
say.
think Gimli's axes were sentient and, like, tried to speak to him?
I should say swords for sure.
Swords for sure? Okay.
Yeah.
I could definitely see Noldorian swords, perhaps.
Yeah. What kind of swords, Joel?
Noldorin.
Aha! We were just talking about this the other day. Somebody commented that when Joel says Noldorian, they get pissed off because it's not a word. It's Noldorin.
Yeah. It's Noldorin, not Noldorian.
Noldoria. I'm from Noldoria.
Fuck me, I guess.
All right, guys. This next one, second question from Big Duck Energy.
Big Duck.
Big Duck Energy asks, and I really like this one. If you were to play a D&D campaign set in the War of Dwarves and Orcs, what would your character's class, background, and motivation be, and which side would you fight for?
Oh.
It'd be hard not to fight for the Longbeards. Just because those are the dwarves we're mostly familiar with in Tolkien as the Longbeards versus the other 6 houses. I suppose it would be kind of fun to fight with one of the houses from out east just because of the...
Yeah, I'm going to say I would be a Firebeard warrior.
Okay.
Whose specialty was I had a vendetta against dragons. Because they killed my family.
Okay. I'll just so to not choose the Longbeards, I'll say maybe I'm one of the Stonefoots. And what is my specialty? Well, my specialty being a Stonefoot, I'd have to say would probably be some sort of forging. Maybe I'm good with armor.
Oh, yeah. He's a smithy.
I'm a smithy.
A smithy? All right.
We'd make a pretty good team then.
Yeah, dude.
One a smithy, one good at fucking slaying dragons.
Yeah, you make the equipment,
Both
I go out
good
there
at,
and slay that shit.
Just being dwarves, I'm sure that means we're both good at slaying orcs because dwarves naturally hate orcs.
Yeah.
And goblins.
I feel like being dwarves also gives you low light vision, right? So you'd easily find in a cave.
So
in
D&D and Pathfinder, yes, you get low light vision as a dwarf. You also get the ability to carry more without necessarily getting weighed down. Like it
encumbered.
Without getting over encumbered. Yes, they are hardy folk.
All right, this next one we got is our last question from Ninu.
All right.
Who asks, if you had to cast Tolkien characters into a reality TV show,
oh yeah,
which reality TV show would you want them to be in, and which characters would you cast?
Let's start Hobbits. Some kind of bake-off show.
Like some Iron Chef stuff?
Some kind of bake-off show with hobbits. And I would have to include Farmer Maggot's wife, Mrs. Maggot. I feel like every time I hear about her, the basket of cooked mushrooms and the dinner she made for them, I just think Farmer Maggot's got to be a great cook.
Yeah.
Mrs. Maggot. Mrs. Maggot's got to be a great cook.
I'm going to do that show Forged in Fire.
Ooh.
Where they make weapons. Have you seen that show?
No.
Yeah, they're all blacksmiths and they like make weapons and they like have to test them out and shit.
Oh, I could see.
But I would do that with
and
dwarves and Noldorin elves. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so much competition. That'd be great.
Dude. That'd be fucking sweet.
No, Ultimate Ninja. Yeah.
Ultimate Ninja Warrior.
Ultimate Ninja Warrior. That would have to go to probably an elf
or a ranger.
Oh, that would be a good name for men and rangers. Yeah.
Rangers would kick ass at the American Ninja Warrior.
Rangers and elves. Hell yeah.
This next one, another one from Mark. Mark asks, "What did the average Joe elf think about all the shenanigans?" I mean, some had to be farmers, right? They couldn't all be lords married to Maiar. They had to eat, so someone had to provide food.
So, yeah, sorry, finish the question. I'm already loving the questions.
Well, would Farmer Elf think the same?
No, see, here's the thing, Mark. I think about this all the time because I'm a person that studies politics and especially like Marxist politics. So I always think of like, what does the working class of Middle Earth really think about what's going on?
And there certainly had to be working class.
Oh, yeah, because you got to be, like you said in the question, you got to eat, right? Somebody's growing the food. Yeah, there's definitely working class people in like...
But specifically the elves in this question. The elves? Yeah. What do the elves think about this?
I feel like working class elves would be... I don't feel like they would have much of a class distinction. I feel like people would just do things because they loved it. So, like, if you were an elf who loved growing food, you would do that for other elves. I feel like they're more of a, like, you'd want to strive for, like, an anarchist society. Like, you would have people that, like what they're doing things for other people in exchange for services that those people also like doing.
Yeah. So, what did the average Joe elf think about all the shenanigans?
So, shenanigans, when I think of elves and shenanigans, I think back to the first age mostly. Because that's when elves were really the main race.
That's when
in
they were
Middle
really
Earth.
popping off.
And the elves were the ones who had shenanigans going on. So back in that day, that would have mostly been like the beef between Melkor and the Noldor, and I guess some of the Sindar getting sucked into that. So I feel like a lot of the working class elves were probably kind of fed up with the fact that the Noldor they probably saw it, I'm assuming, as picking a fight with a fucking Maiar or a fucking Valar.
Yeah.
I'm sure they were probably kind of frustrated, like, why are we infinitely, like, forever trying to go to war against this power that we're probably never going to defeat? They were probably kind of frustrated with all the never-ending death and destruction.
There was some dissent in those days, I would imagine. Yeah.
However, there were days of plenty, like the Siege of Angband. That was 400 years straight of just wonderful times in Beleriand.
Yeah. No, it's an interesting question, Mark.
Complex question, but
I love that.
I think there are definitely a lot of working class elves that are probably frustrated with the current events.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I mean, because I think especially in the world of men, like in Gondor, there's a shitload of working class farmers and stuff that don't even live in Minas Tirith.
Oh, that would be men, not elves.
Yeah. Oh, he has specifically elves. That's right. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the working class distinction between elves wouldn't be as strong as it is in men, just because they're more enlightened than we are.
That's true.
So I don't think there would be like a hard poverty line in elven communities.
There are a lot more zen, a lot more one with the earth.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think that they would probably definitely disagree with like what Feanor was doing and stuff.
Certainly Feanor.
Yeah.
All right, fellas. And Joel, I think this one was kind of aimed at you.
Okay.
Only a little bit.
Okay.
The question is, from Arden Viper, despite popular belief, why are dwarves the worst weight race around?
Ooh.
Oh,
seriously,
man,
dwarves suck no matter how bad the elves are.
Is that part of the question, or is that you talking?
That's a statement from Arden Viper.
Ooh.
Oof. Oof. Repeat the question.
I was so
why are dwarves the worst race around?
So, I think dwarves get a bad rap, and I think there is reason for it, but also it's not their fault. So it has a lot to do with their creation. Aule was kind of jumping the gun in terms of creating sentient life. That was supposed to be Iluvatar's thing, and he said he was going to do it, but Aule was kind of getting impatient, and he jumped the gun and was like, hey, let me just make these dwarves real quick to see if I can do it. And so he tried to make them as much in the likeness of what he thought Iluvatar's sentient life was supposed to be. So that's why the dwarves are so different from men and elves. That's why they're like short and stocky and like brawny and like really into fucking mining, and they're not so naturey and
yeah. They're hard. They're a hard people.
They were made to be a hard people because they were created during the years where Melkor was reigning.
Yeah.
So during Melkor's reign, Aule saw that and thought, if there's going to be sentient life, they're going to have to be hardy. They're going to have to be tough. And I think that's kind of where a lot of like the rough attitude and stubbornness comes from. So
a boy named Sue.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If a man's going to make it, he's got to be
dynamic.
tough.
Yeah. Because, he wanted them to be tough because they're going to be living in Melkor's Middle Earth.
Yeah.
That's how he saw it. So
yeah. I
think they get a bad rep, but I also think that's probably why they suck so much, because also Iluvatar didn't create them. Aule created them, one of the Valar, one of the high angels, I guess you could say, one of the demigods.
So not quite the god.
Well, not the guy who was supposed to be creating sentient life. So they kind of got the shit end of the stick on that sense. The dwarves did.
So they were born that way?
They were born that way, and it's not their fault. It's kind of Aule's fault.
They were born that way. They can't help it.
All right. Well, we've got a bunch of questions from both Mark and Arden Viper. It's kind of what we got last. So let's just dig right into it. Mark asks, so Manwë did pretty much bugger all for Middle-earth. If you were Manwë...
That's a solid observation.
Yeah.
If you were Manwë, what do you think you'd accomplish?
Oh, I wouldn't.
What wouldn't I accomplish?
Yeah. If
Oh
I
my
were,
God, that
I'd be
guy.
a terrible Manway.
Okay, so
I'd be a
Manway,
terrible man.
So I get it, Manway. He wasn't supposed to like directly interfere. Like that was kind of the thing, but like Manway really didn't do much.
Never.
Never, ever. Even
Never.
when he
And then when
really
he
could have
did-
helped.
When he did, he fucked it up. Remember, he let Melkor go
That's right.
because he couldn't perceive
Because
evil.
Manway could not understand evil because he himself was not evil and had not encountered evil before, so
Yeah,
he
he
couldn't
couldn't know
comprehend it.
Yeah.
So he was like, "Yeah, Melkor says he feels bad and he's repentant, so let's let him go."
Let him go.
Yeah, if I were Manway, I would not have let Melkor go. That fucking son of a bitch.
Yeah, and it always seems like I always wondered if, like when Gandalf dies, right? Is it Manway or is it Iluvatar that intervenes? It's straight up Iluvatar, right? It's not Manway.
right,
It's like
yeah,
he went around Manway.
Iluvatar is the one that has that power, not Manway.
Exactly.
If you're dealing with the dead, it would either be Iluvatar himself or it would be Mandos.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the Flame Imperishable? This one
What a
from Ardent
mystery.
Viper.
So yeah, it's kind of one of those mysterious things. I see it as like the flame of sentient, like it's the sentience of a creature, right?
Yeah, so if I'm not mistaken, the Flame Imperishable is something that is only mentioned in the Ainulindale.
Yeah.
So
Can you say that again? Ainulindale?
The
Ainulindale.
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 All right.
The Ainur. The music of the Ainur.
Song
The
of the Ainur.
Ainulindale. So that is basically the creation of the physical world through song. And
The flame imperishable.
The Flame Imperishable is mentioned during that section of the book because the Flame Imperishable is basically the source of life, right? Sentient life.
And Melkor was always trying to steal it and wield it himself.
Yeah, and
The
that's
flame imperishable.
what Iluvatar uses to create
Sentience, essentially.
elves and men, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, and then dwarves as well. He used it to...
dwarfs and the Ainur. I would assume.
I would assume, yeah.
They don't explicitly say that the Flame Imperishable is used with the Ainur, but I'm pretty
You'd
sure
assume.
that you'd assume.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's like it's like Asimov's positronic brain. It's the center of sentience.
Well, that's I always associate sentience with like brain function and thought, whereas I guess personally I would associate the Flame Imperishable with more of a soul, like a spiritual sentience, maybe.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. I didn't mean like literally a single brain.
Okay, sure.
I meant like it was the key to sentience in that universe.
Yeah.
All right. From Mark. This one seems kind of silly. But would Tom Bombadil say, I'm doing a poo, a shit, a dump, a number 2, something else?
Tom Bombadil.
What rhymes? There's got to be something that rhymes.
So he's a candid ass motherfucker. Tom Bombadil don't give a shit, but I think he also would love to rhyme. So I think he'd say.
He'd say I'm taking a poo poo Tom Bombadiloo.
He'd take
a swoop de doo Tom poo poo doo.
I'm taking a
poo and loo.
Poo poo padillo Tom Bombadillo. His eyes are blue and his boots are yellow.
Taking a shit down by the horny willow.
Yeah, he would have a song. That's all we know.
Yeah, he'd at least have a song, but he wouldn't use any particular word referencing the excrement.
Well, he would speak some kind of gibberish that rhymes.
Yeah.
Oh, so he'd maybe invent his own word.
Oh, yes. I could definitely. I think he would probably use the word poo.
I would say poo.
That's an easy word to rhyme.
Tom Snoopadil, maybe.
Tom Snoopadil, the
just
poopadil.
Making his own words when he wants.
I'd say he uses poo poo.
So Ardent Viper asks, who is arguably the most poorly written character in Middle Earth?
The most poorly written character in Middle Earth. It's got to be Tom Bombadil.
I was literally going to say it's got to be Tom Bombadil. Just because, I don't want to say poorly.
I don't want to say he's poorly written, but it makes no sense.
He has no place, really.
He has no place whatsoever in the story, yeah.
If there were a character that is in the story that I would have to say was poorly written, I would have to say Tom Bombadil because he just does not fit in that narrative very well.
Yeah.
And even in the Council of Elrond, he had to work in some dialogue to just explicitly say, you're probably thinking about this weird-ass Tom Bombadil guy I mentioned earlier.
He's
not a viable option just because I don't know. He doesn't fucking care. That's why.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly. I would have to say, I would agree. Tom Bombadil.
So the next question from Mark. The choices of Elrond and Elros. Which would you choose? Immortality or the gift of death?
I would go Dunedain.
I'd go immortality.
Ooh, we're divisive. Okay.
I thought that was going to be unanimous immortality.
Let's get a
No,
why.
I don't want to live forever.
How
Are
could you
kidding me?
turn down that though? Like,
I don't want to live forever.
That's like infinite knowledge.
Bro, I'm 30 and I'm like over it already. Like let's be honest. Like I don't want to live.
So perhaps
forever.
this stems from my own personal fear of death.
Yeah.
I have an issue with death and just comprehending death and reflecting on what
You'd
that
rather
will
put it
mean.
off
It's pretty
Yeah,
natural, I'd say.
I'd rather put
until
it
the
off.
moment he's slain in some battle.
Sure, or just done with the world because of a broken heart. You
Yeah,
know,
just
I mean, I guess I'd rather deal with it right at the end. At least then you don't have to think about it for
No,
long.
I
mean,
feel like
'cause
elves
the cool
also
thing-
tend to wield a magic power that a lot of men, even Dunedain, might not get.
But like the thing is, the Dunedain, they don't get sick. They live for like a long ass time.
It's true, but not as long as elves. And I get to live
Yeah,
in a
but
mon.
who
You
wants
wouldn't.
to live-
You wouldn't get to live in a mon.
I would live in Numenor. It's almost just as cool.
For a limited amount of time, bro.
No. Numenor lasted for many generations. It was stable for many generations.
Sure.
All right. It was
Compared to-
stable for many generations.
There's just a deadline on it. All right. So Ardent Viper then asks, what's your top 3 fantasy series / authors, excluding Tolkien, and why?
Did they say fantasy in general?
Just, yeah, fantasy was the only word
Fantasy.
used there. So,
A lot of the other stuff I read is more science fiction than fantasy. I think Joel's the same.
well, let's, okay, all right, then get as close as you can with a couple at least.
The Dark Tower.
Why?
Why?
Yeah, why the Dark Tower?
Because it's an inexplicable universe that is like, it's hard to even explain.
That would be Stephen King, right?
Yeah, Stephen King, yeah.
It's
Is it
fairly
fantasy?
mysterious.
Yes. Is it sci-fi? Yes. Is it horror? Yes. Is it nonfiction? Maybe.
Maybe.
You never know.
Is it nonfiction?
Maybe.
Perhaps.
Is this based on a true story? Like,
Dark Tower, and then I really like Asimov's robot series too. That's sci-fi, but if fantasy, I really like the Percy Jackson books. I never finished them, but the first 3 that I read, I really enjoyed.
what about you, Joel? What do you got?
Fantasy, I suppose the only other fantasy I've really delved into was George Martin. So I definitely enjoyed a lot of, George. I read through the Game of Thrones, the Song of Ice and Fire series. He's a horny ass, creepy old dude, but I definitely enjoyed the overarching story and narrative.
Oh.
But as far as I've got to definitely branch fantasy into sci-fi a little bit, and I'd have to say Asimov and Frank Herbert. I definitely say Frank Herbert's a little further into the fantasy. He's definitely deep into the sci-fi, but it's a little more sci-fi fantasy than probably Asimov is.
All right, solid answers.
I also am a big fan of Harry Potter.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
Not a big fan of J.K. Rowling.
a
these
lot of
days,
people have
but-
their own opinions about J.K. Rowling nowadays.
Yeah, like the story.
The work is good.
Yeah.
We'll move on. All right, so Mark asks, what did the crew get up to on the way to the Undying Lands? How long would it have taken?
Oh, you know what they did? I totally know what they did. They played Liar's Dice the whole time.
I hate Liar's Dice.
I know Joel hates Liar's Dice so
Didn't
much.
you have like a set of Liar's Dice just sitting around?
I did. I used to carry them around.
Okay, yeah, that's who it
Yeah.
was.
Liar's Dice is pointless because
Because Joel can never win.
no, it's because you're making bets on whether or not the other person knows what the dice are, but nobody knows what the dice are.
Yeah, that's
just-
it's a game of chance.
It's
but you just never win.
it's like, what are you bluffing? Nobody knows anything, so how are you bluffing? It's
You're bluffing what you think you know.
but you,
It's too complicated for Joel.
I guess my prescience isn't up to par for this
But
game.
I guess, yeah, I said Liar's Dice because I imagine I hope they played a game that made them all fight.
So
Like
when
were
they
all mad
say
at each
the
other.
gang on their way to the Undying Lands, I'm assuming they mean the boat with like Frodo, Bilbo, Gandalf, Elrond, Galadriel.
The crew.
Okay, because I also imagine what would the boat be like with Sam and Círdan.
Círdan.
Mm-hmm.
They just talk about rope the whole time.
In the Undying Lands, you live forever, I'm assuming. Hence the
Yeah,
name.
it's sort of like heaven on earth.
No,
it's kind of
you
like
don't live forever.
it's like the Garden of Eden.
But you don't live forever. You'll die eventually if you're mortal.
Just extended life then.
No, you don't really get extended life either. I mean, other than that, you're getting better health care probably.
So it's a nice, peaceful place. All right.
But yeah, you don't. That may or may not be in one of our heresy episodes. That if you go to the Undying Lands, you don't die.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, if you're saying that they got us
Because our Pharazôn tried to do that. It doesn't work.
Ah, I see your point.
If you just go to the Undying Lands, you don't become immortal.
See,
Even if you're invited there.
I was thinking about getting real morbid with it, because if they did live forever, maybe the last thing they'd want to do before they became immortal was experience pain. And so what would you do on the boat ride over, you know?
Yeah, just play
before you live with immortality, how are you going to play with your own mortality? They'd probably play a lot of like Russian roulette and shit before they're totally immortal.
That'd be cool, yeah.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
One of us isn't going to make it all the way over just for kicks.
Yeah.
So, okay, you didn't answer, though. How long would it take? Would they just be playing liar's dice for months?
To get there?
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea
I don't know how long it
to
takes.
sail.
I imagine it takes like a week or two. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, so like, is it known? It is not known how long that sail would take. It might have been known back in like the first stage.
In the first stage, yeah, for sure.
When did the world become round? That was the second end of the second age? No, that was the middle of the second age.
Yeah.
It was the fall of Numenor when the world became round. So that's when all of a sudden that physical distance would have changed. You would have had to find the somewhat mysterious, magical, quote-unquote,
the straight road
or the straight path, whatever they call it, to get to the Undying Lands.
Yeah,
and who the fuck knows how long that would take?
Who knows how long it takes?
Because then you'd also have to, after you take the straight road, well, the waters along the shores of the Undying Land are those, shadowy seas or whatever. They're like enchanted, so you can't find your way. They're like turbulent. There's like islands all over the place. So like, who knows how long it would take to navigate all that shit.
So it could take a long time.
Yeah,
maybe.
Depending on your sailing abilities, who the fuck knows?
All right, guys. So we're going to get into crunch mode now.
Crunch
mode. So we got a few questions, and then we have our final round.
Oh, I'm excited.
Which will be fun.
Right on.
So, last question from Ardent Viper. Do you think Brandon Sanderson, who finished the Wheel of Time series, would have been chosen to finish the Lord of the Rings sequel that Tolkien started and abandoned, or would you pick a different author to do that?
So I'm not familiar enough with his work to say, although I know that some people really like Brandon Sanderson.
Yeah, there's like I haven't read Wheel of Time either, but I heard it's the shit.
If there were anyone who were to take up the mantle and continue and finish out that story, because I would personally love for that story to be fleshed out. The little bits and pieces that Tolkien gave us of that story are really cool. There's like a dark cult and things.
Yeah.
If there were anyone to do it, I'd love for it to be a prominently known, well-appreciated writer like him.
Yeah, I disagree.
But I can't say that I know his work well enough to say whether or not he'd be a great fit.
I disagree. I think the only person I'd be satisfied doing it is me.
You?
Yeah.
Danny J.
It's got to be me.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Now, would that just be for your satisfaction, or yeah? Okay, that's what I thought.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
I suppose how better to satisfy yourself than to write it yourself, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Fair enough.
Whose fault is it if you fuck it up? Yours.
Touché.
So this next question goes back to the Undying Lands. This is another one from Mark. Old Bombadil and Goldberry didn't have kids, or did they? If they didn't go to the Undying Lands, are they still around?
So I like to think that Tom Bombadil and Goldberry are sort of creatures of the land of Middle-earth. I feel like they probably wouldn't go to Amon just because they are
like
part of Middle-earth.
Yeah, they're part of Middle-earth. They're there for forever, for the long haul.
Especially after that line in the Council of Elrond where they say, Tom Bombadil wouldn't be able to hold off Sauron unless that power were within the earth itself?
Yes, he says unless it's in the very earth itself to resist his power.
Which means to imply that Tom Bombadil is somehow some extension
of the
earth or Mother Nature or something like that. So agreed. I feel like they probably wouldn't go to Amon because that's like a pretty unnatural place to them. That's like where the Valar live.
Right.
The Valar built up Valinor, a.k.a.
and
Amon,
then the Eldar after.
And the Eldar after. So that's a pretty change. It's not supernatural. It's pretty unnatural, in fact.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd
like where
to
it's untamed and natural, yeah.
I think they'd love
Which is why they live in the fucking old forest.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Untamed and wild.
Yeah.
All right, and last question from Mark. Kind of a long one. Bear with me.
Yeah.
So J.R.R. Tolkien wrote to Christopher, "A story must be told, or there will be no story." yet it is the untold stories that are most moving in the Book of Lost Tales Part 1. So, which story do you linger on and wonder what happened next? And dwell on that untold story which moves you?
That's an amazing question.
That's a really good question.
I would have to say the untold story that moves me. I'm gonna go back to what I was talking about earlier. Is with Maglor and the two boys and their relationship and their love that grew therein, and what maybe things Maglor taught Elrond and Elros, stuff like that.
I think there's enough implied and yet untold there.
Yeah,
I
because
think that's a good
obviously
answer.
Elrond becomes like the best lore master like of all time. So like he obviously learned from somebody. It was probably fucking Maglor. He probably taught him how to play a mean lute or flute or something. Remember Maglor was like the
Yeah, that's
best
right.
musician?
He was one of the best musicians right after
Daeron of
Dairon.
Doriath.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So just because, especially since he brought up the Unfinished Tales, I'm gonna have to say the story of Tuor. That's part of one of the Unfinished Tales. In fact, I think it's one of the first ones in the book. But it's honestly one of my favorite of the Unfinished Tales to read. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it just feels so complete up until the point when it ends. Like, it just feels so well written and well thought out. Like, this was certainly a tale that he was trying to flesh out and finish.
That's when Tuor is like following the spring water, right?
Yep. Yeah. So
Yeah.
after he makes it through the gate of the Noldor,
Mm-hmm.
he exits Dorthonion and he's walking along the Rainbow Cleft. There's a lot of beautiful descriptions. He meets his elven guider friend,
Voronway.
Voronway.
Yeah.
And then they get all the way to Gondolin, and as soon as they encounter the Gondolindrum guards, that's where the story cuts off. And
He was about to be possessed by Ulmo and stuff, remember?
he had already seen Ulmo at this point.
No, but remember he speaks with Ulmo's voice.
Oh, that's right. Yes, he goes
Yeah.
and he speaks with Ulmo's voice in front of the king.
In front of Turgon, yeah.
So the story cuts off, the explicit story, I should say, cuts off when he gets to the guards. You can get the gist of the story throughout the Silmarillion. The story is more or less complete, but the fleshed out version of that story is incomplete. It stops when Tuor gets
Just sucks.
to the guards of the Gondolin. And it's at that point where it's about to get to that fucking crescendo. We're
They're
about
like
to get to
meet Ithilien and
Gondolin.
shit, yeah.
We're about to meet Turgon. This is everything that his journey has led up to, and the explicit story just stops there.
They don't get to meet Ithilien, right?
Not explicitly, I don't think.
No. Bullshit.
Yeah, so I would love to see that story fleshed out completely.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it would have the same impact on you if it was, though?
I would, yeah, I think so. Yeah. I would just love to get more details, essentially.
I'd also like to know more about Aragorn's childhood.
Oh, there you go.
Like his because when did he came to Rivendell when he was like 2, right?
He was very young.
And then he
was a
lived there
child.
until he was 21. Like,
Mhm.
what happened in those years? What kind of things was he taught? How was his relationship with Elrond? Stuff like that.
How would you feel, back to like way earlier, pretty basically the first question, if the Amazon series
I
touched on
thought they
that?
were gonna do a young Aragorn anime series, and I thought that would have been cool because like Aragorn's 87 years old during the Lord of the Rings. He like gets up to a bunch of wild shit beforehand that
But
they could totally go through.
It sounds like you're saying that information doesn't exist, though. Aragorn's youth, right?
Oh, not really. No, like what he was up to while he was in Rivendell.
So yeah. So would you be okay with Amazon getting people to write that?
Sure, as long as it like fit the the story and stuff.
Yeah, it would be hard to get Aragorn included in that series, especially considering he's born in the Third Age.
Yeah.
And the series is in the Second Age, so likely they probably won't touch on Aragorn at all, but maybe they'll touch on his
No, I
earlier
just thought like
heirs.
way early on, they like when they announced it, I thought it was supposed to be a young Aragorn series.
Yeah, maybe they'll get into his ancestors.
His lineage.
Maybe they'll touch on the line of Isildur.
All right, guys. This is the last bit. All right. So me and a bunch of your community people decided that it would be fun to do a FMK, fuck, marry, kill, and I have
Classic game.
I have a lot of them. So we'll get through as many as we possibly can.
All right.
I think maybe I'll give you guys a minute collectively for each one. So,
Okay.
or just give a quick why. So fuck, marry, kill. The first one we got. Radagast.
Are we trading off these, or are we both answering?
Do you guys want to both answer?
Is there enough where we can trade off?
There are 18 of them.
Let's
trade off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
Okay.
start with Danny. You want to take the first one?
Okay, all right. So, Danny, fuck, marry, kill. Radagast, Shelob, and Treebeard.
I'd fuck Shelob because just for the
You're a
memes, just for
disgusting
the
man.
memes, right?
You're a disgusting
just
man.
for the fucking memes.
I would also.
He's Trevor had a look of like approval on his face when I said that. He was just like, yes. So I'd fuck Shelob. I guess I'd marry Radagast. I'd kill Treebeard because he talks too much.
What the fuck?
Bro, Treebeard talks way too much.
Dude, I was going to say fuck Radagast, marry Treebeard because he's a long, stable relationship, and kill Shelob. Holy shit.
No, I
That's
gotta
so
see
backwards.
what that spider shit is like.
Yeah, she could take multiple forms. I mean, according to Shadow of War, the Lord
It's
of the Rings
true, yeah,
game.
'cause
So
they play her as a Maiar, yeah.
yeah,
She's infinitely hungry. She, gobble your balls.
I would let her consume me
Gross.
all day and then wrap me up in those webs afterwards.
Gross.
Let's go.
Gobble on them balls. That's
You guys are
disgusting.
disgusting.
Yeah.
All right, Joel, fuck, marry, kill. Galadriel,
Mm.
Arwen, Luthien.
Oh, shit. I have to kill one of them? Kill
Well,
Arwen.
only one of mine was a chick and it was a spider.
Kill Arwen. Probably kill Arwen, fuck Galadriel, and marry Luthien just because it would feel
You
disrespectful.
killed Arwen? Is that what you
Yeah.
said?
It's hard to say kill any of them,
Yeah.
but I'd have to marry the one I have the most respect for, which is probably Luthien.
Yeah.
All right, Danny, fuck, marry, kill. Éomer, Aragorn, Prince Imrahil.
Oh, I would fuck Imrahil.
Nice choice.
Tall, dark, and handsome. Down from the Fallas, you know what I mean? And then marry Aragorn because he's just so dreamy. And then I'd kill Éomer just because if you honestly could kill Éomer, you'd win renown because he's a badass.
Yeah, it'd probably be
I'd be
pretty
a hero
crazy
or
fight.
something, yeah.
Sounds like the kill's not really a bad thing at this point.
No. And
Be an arousing
and,
fight.
And he, as long as I killed him in battle, he'd be fine with that because that's how they like to die.
They're warriors.
Yeah.
All right, Joel, fuck, marry, kill. Círdan, Celebrimbor, and Caranthir.
Círdan, Celebrimbor, Caranthir. I'd kill Caranthir the Dark. Probably fuck Celebrimbor. And because he's definitely got some fucking talents.
He's good with his hands,
dude.
too. Yeah.
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 And I'd definitely marry Círdan because I would
The
love
stories, yeah.
the stories. I definitely want to spend the most time with Círdan. So.
And that beard.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Danny,
Yep.
fuck, marry, kill. Glorfindel, Legolas, Thranduil.
Oh, okay. I'd kill Thranduil, fuck Legolas, and marry Glorfindel. Easy. Easy clap.
Easy clap.
Yeah.
All right, Joel, fuck, marry, kill. Pippin, Bilbo, Sam.
Oh, that's hard. Because, I really love all three of those characters.
You gotta fuck one of them. Who is it?
Fuck Pippin. I definitely fuck Pippin because he is the.
Because he's the youngest? You're gross.
He's got a lot of energy, man. I feel like
because he's a child.
What?
He's a teenager.
Well, he's just a very funny, energetic character.
I was just waiting for you to say that.
I think maybe we should assume they are all adults at this point for legal reasons.
I would marry Bilbo because of his adventures and his stories, and I would kill. Who's the third?
Sam.
Oh my God! No.
You're killing Sam.
Wait,
You're
hold
killing
on.
Sam. Oh my
Why would I
God.
kill Sam?
You gotta make a choice.
Okay, I'll kill Bilbo and marry Sam because I don't know. Bilbo gets pretty lustful with the ring towards the end of his stint with it. I guess he does give it up on his own accord, which is something that most ring bearers cannot say. But
Sam does.
Sam does as well. So I'm gonna say marry Sam, kill Bilbo.
Kill Bilbo.
Shit,
Jesus Christ. That one's mean.
rough.
All right, Danny, fuck, marry, kill. Gandalf the Grey, Saruman the Wise, and Radagast the Brown.
I'd kill Radagast. Fuck Saruman because Christopher Lee, who wouldn't? And then marry Gandalf the Grey.
I feel like that was a very easy.
He's a good smoking partner.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta get somebody that smokes.
Long term, he loves the long bottom leaf.
Mm-hmm.
Joel, I saved this one for you.
Okay.
So fuck, marry, kill. Aragorn,
Ooh.
Legolas,
Mm.
Thorin Oakenshield.
Kill Legolas. Fuck Thorin Oakenshield because that guy would be a hell of a lay. and probably
What
marry
a man!
Aragorn, because not only would he be
You always got to marry Aragorn.
he's a manly lady, but I could see myself spending some long-term time with Aragorn. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Danny,
Yep.
Sam, Mary, and Pippin. Fuck, marry, kill.
Sam, Mary, Pippin. Kill Pippin. Fuck Mary. Marry Sam. Easy clap.
All right.
Easy peasy. All right, Joel. Fuck, marry, kill. Smeagol, Gollum,
Oh.
and the One Ring.
Well, I'd have to marry the One Ring because I feel like I'd be too seduced by it to give any other choice, and so I'd probably fuck Gollum because he's, that's dirty, that's fun.
That's dirty. That's dirty and fun. Okay.
We all know
And,
Joel's
kills
fantasy.
Smeagol.
Kill Smeagol, the only innocent one, huh?
The only innocent.
But
Yeah.
Joel, why wouldn't you fuck the One Ring? It can resize itself.
Yeah.
That's a valid point. I don't know. The
But
concept
then again,
of a cock ring is...
so the advantage of it resizing itself is also the disadvantage is that it resizes itself.
That's
so
fair.
when it does, it best be in the right place.
Right. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Why are you such a tease, One Ring? All right, Danny,
Yeah.
Arwen, Tauriel, and Eowyn.
I'd kill Tauriel because she's not real.
Fair enough.
What do you mean not real?
Touche.
Not a real character.
Oh, okay.
She's from the
It's
Hobbit.
a movie character explicitly.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough.
Solely
She's just not
created
real.
for the
What were other
movies.
two, Eowyn and who?
Eowyn and Arwen.
I'd fuck Arwen just because I'd want to be Eskimo brothers with Aragorn, and then I would marry Eowyn for sure.
All right. Joel, fuck, marry, kill.
Okay.
You've got Ulmo,
Mm-hmm.
Aule, and Tulkas.
Fuck Tulkas for sure. That guy would...
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that guy's got the energy.
he's got the stamina.
He's got the stamina. And the other two were... I'm sorry, Aule and Ulmo. I feel like Ulmo's always got the backs of humans. So I'd probably marry Ulmo and kill Aule, which makes me sad because Aule is probably my favorite Valar. But
the situation.
it's the situation I'm in. There it is.
Danny,
Yep.
fuck, marry, kill. Thorondor and Calagon the Black
Oh,
and Shadowfax.
I love this.
Oh no. That look on my face I just had was imagining me fucking Shadowfax. Yeah. No, I'd fuck Shadowfax because wow, what a creature. I'd marry Thorondor because we could fly through the sky all day and it'd be romantic.
Cute.
Mm.
And then and Calagan the Black, yeah, kill him. Fuck that dude. Where's Arendelle at? Kill his ass.
All right, Joel, you get to fuck, marry, kill Denethor, father of Boromir, Saruman, and the mouth of Sauron.
Oh. Oh.
I'm sorry, one more time for me. I got to hear these choices again. It was
You get Denethor, father of Boromir,
Uh-huh.
Saruman, and the mouth of Sauron.
Denethor, Saruman, and the mouth of Sauron.
So before you answer this question, I want to remind you of two things. I want to remind you of Denethor eating those potatoes, tomatoes.
Okay.
And then I want to remind you of my master, Sauron the Great, bids thee welcome. I want to remind you of those two things.
So I gotta fuck the mouth of Sauron. Okay.
Oh.
I gotta see what that mouth is about. And between Denethor and Saruman, right? Or was it Sauron?
Saruman.
Saruman.
Yep.
Probably kill Denethor because he's a whiny bitch, and probably spend my time out with Sauron. He's got some interesting.
Well, and the thing-
information.
Saruman.
Saruman, excuse me.
Denethor, if you just let him be, he'll just kill himself anyway. So
That's
you might
true.
as well
Yeah.
just kill him.
Mm-hmm.
Just get it over with. All right. We're on our last four. So, Danny, fuck, marry, kill. You get Sauron, Morgoth, and Gandalf.
Marry Gandalf. Fuck Melkor.
Mm.
Kill Sauron.
Mm-hmm. Good choice.
Melkor, he who arises in might. What do you think that guy's
Melkor and Morgoth are the same person,
He
right?
who
Yeah, okay.
arises.
He who arises in might.
in might.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, baby.
I get a little bit of that might.
Look at him arise in might.
All right, Joel, you get to fuck, marry, kill Rosie Cotton,
Oh.
Goldberry,
Oh.
and Tom Bombadil.
Oh.
He only gets. How come his are only women sometimes?
You got one that was two.
Rosie Cotton, Tom Bombadil, and Goldberry. Well, I feel like Tom Bombadil and Goldberry kind of trump Rosie Cotton. No offense, Rosie Cotton. So I'll have to kill Rosie Cotton. Poor innocent Rosie. And between Bombadil and Goldberry, I'd probably fuck Bombadil because he seems like he's got a lot of good energy.
His eyes are blue and his boots are yellow.
A lot of skipping around and rhymes and shit. Good with his mouth.
Good with his mouth.
God damn it.
Yes.
Oh, God damn it.
I'll marry Goldberry. She seems like a wonderful, pleasant person to spend time with.
She can cook, too.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
All right,
Yeah.
Danny. Last one. Fuck, marry, kill. Feanor, Huan, and Manwë.
Oh, that's a good threesome.
One of them's a dog, dude.
So either you're going to be a dog
Yeah, you're
murderer,
gonna fuck a dog or
or
kill
you're
a
going to
dog
be
or marry a dog.
bestiality.
Yeah.
These are your choices, man. Life has dealt you this hand.
What are the other two again? I just hung up on Huan.
Feanor and Manwë.
Feanor and Manwë. So I'd fuck Feanor,
Good choice.
kill Manwë because he's worthless. Marry Huan.
Solid choice. Marry
Honestly,
the dog.
I don't think I would have done any different.
I would have done exactly the same.
All right, Joel, this is the last one for you. Fuck, marry, kill. Quick beam, Oogluk,
Oogluk.
and Teleporno.
Teleporno. Somebody pulled that one out. That's funny.
Who's Teleporno?
Teleporno is Celeborn's old name before Tolkien changed it.
Like Celegorm and Curafin?
No, Celeborn.
Celeborn.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Teleporn. One more time. Teleporno and
Quick beam,
Quick
and
beam.
Oogluk.
Oogluk.
Oogluk? Yeah.
You gotta fuck that Oogluk. You know, you need to get that orc
Yeah,
shit.
I feel like Quick Beam, even though he's the hasty of Ents, that's a pretty low bar. So I feel like he wouldn't be a good lay. And I would really want to marry. I'm sorry, where the options were Quick Beam, Oogluk, and
Teleporno.
Teleport. Okay.
You gotta marry Teleporno.
Do I have to marry Teleporno? I'm trying to decide whether to fuck Teleporno or marry Teleporno. I would marry Teleporno. I'd fuck Oogluk and kill Quick Beam. I'm sorry, Quick Beam.
Why? You're not gonna kill the orc? You're gonna fuck the orc?
Yeah,
That's fucking weird. Okay.
I mean, orc or ent, I
Orcs
guess.
are
I
literally
guess that's your
characters. Orcs are literally characters that are made to be murdered.
Filthy.
I mean, hey, maybe that's part of the role play.
Hey, don't kink shame, dude.
All right. All right.
Don't kink shame.
I
Dude.
suppose. I'm sorry. Apologize. We can't do that anymore.
All right, fellas. That's the end of the list. We got through them all.
Hey.
Woo! Another holiday season success.
Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Hopefully, you laughed when we answered your questions. Hopefully,
I can confidently tell you that we enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah,
That
that was
was-
very fun.
That was a lot of fun. The speed round at the end was really fucking fun. I
Yeah, that
definitely
was
loved
fun.
the
Fuck, Mary kills.
Fuck, Marry, Kill.
Classic game.
Classic. Well, friends, thank you for tuning in with us and spending some of your holiday season with us.
Yeah.
We'll be coming back to you soon. Like we mentioned prior, we've got a whole new season coming up, season 5.
Yeah. And yeah, we'd just like to take this time to thank our Patreon subscribers again.
Yes, thank you, patrons.
Who made this all possible. Thank them. And we'd like to say follow us on all the social media stuff, right?
Follow us on all social medias. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Discord. You can find us on Gmail as well.
Yeah.
Keep on Tolkien Podcast at any of those locations.
Yeah, hit us up, guys.
Well, there is a point of clarification I'd like to make.
Oh, yeah. Do this.
So in our recent status update for the podcast that we came out with recently, we did mention that we had some upcoming episodes in season 5. A little tease. We've got some Denethor character profiles and Witch King profiles, but another thing we teased was our next trilogy of episodes, which is the Doom Trilogy. Some of you may be thinking of the recent Frank Herbert franchise of Dune, D-U-N-E. No.
But that's not what we're talking about.
That is not what we're referencing. We are Doom. D-O-O-M.
Doom!
We're actually talking about the video game, Doom.
Referencing Tolkien's version of the word Doom,
Yeah,
D-O-O-M,
I
which is
heard-
Destiny or...
I heard Tolkien had some crazy mods on his Doom.
yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had some fucking crazy weapons. He was blowing through those levels. So
Um,
let that stir for you
yes.
guys. Our Doom Trilogy, Destiny.
It's something we've been cooking up for a long time.
And we're very excited about it. So tune in soon for 2022 for season 5 of Keep on Tolkien Keep on Tolkien
Keep on Tolkien.
podcast.
And yeah, let's also have a round of thanks for Trevor, our host / questioner today.
Thank you for coming, Trevor. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for letting me do this. This was a ton of fun.
Yeah,
We love having you back.
yeah. And thank you for curating all the questions too. I know that
Yes.
that was fun.
Your
Beautifully
Discord
done.
community is great, and anybody who's not a part of it needs to join it. These
Yes.
guys all rock.
There
Yes,
you go.
Join the Discord community. Thank you.
Come hang out with us.
Come hang out. All right, guys, that's all we pretty much have for you today. I'm Danny J.
And I'm Joel N.
I'm Trevor D.
And together we are
Keep,
Keep on Tolkien.
Ode and Tuluva.